Hi, this is the Bumbling Dev, Sagan One, and today we're going to look at using Cocoapods, which is a package manager that you can use with your projects. It is an incredible tool and gives you access to a gigantic library of reusable code. So I'm going to give you a demonstration of using Cocoapods today to have nice graphic fireworks in your app. So the first thing that we need to do is install Cocoapods, and luckily Ruby, which is required for Cocoapods, comes default on Macs, so you don't need to worry about it. All you need to do is go to your terminal and type the word sudo gem install Cocoapods. You'll see I typed it here, and let's skip all the screen chatter. And now we'll go over to Xcode and we'll create a simple new project. Nothing big, just go to Xcode, select project, your single view app, click next, give it a name, and we'll move on from there. Call mine fireworks, and let's click next. In this case, I'm not going to make a Git repository, and I'm just going to save it in my development folder. So I'll hit create, and there's the project. Now I'm going to close Xcode. For the next step, we're going to go to the terminal again. I'm going to type cd for change directory. I'm going to find my folder for my project that I just created and drag it into the terminal. And you'll see the path there. Hit return. And then I'm going to type pod init, which basically starts the process of enabling my project for Cocoapods. And once I do an ls to list the directories, you'll notice I got some new files. One of them is the pod file. If I type nano pod file, you'll see there's some stuff here. We're going to look at this again in a minute, but I just thought I'd show you that there's this file called pod file. So if we go to the Finder and open up the folder for the project, you'll see the pod file there, and I'm going to open it in a text editor just so you can see what it looks like. And we're going to type in for our specific CocoaPod that we're interested in to do fireworks. So I'm going to type pod SwiftFireworks and then simply save the file and exit. Now, in the same terminal, and certainly the same directory, you want to type pod install. Once we've typed into the pod file and told the pod file what we want, we type pod install, and it will go out to the internet and grab the pod that we want. And that would be the SwiftFireworks. And reading is a key here. You'll notice that doing the pod installed created a new file called .workspace. That's a workspace file. And it told us to close our Xcode project and open it using the workspace. So if we go out to Finder, we'll notice there's this new workspace file, and we'll just double click it and open it. And you'll see now that there's a section called pods. There's your pod file, and you can edit it right here and add other pods. And also you'll notice that in this pods directory, there's now something called SwiftFireworks. And now for implementing our fireworks, we'll open the view controller, and you'll find viewcontroller.swift under the folder there, as you see. And in viewcontroller.swift, we're going to type import SwiftFireworks. Now, when we first do this, the compiler is going to complain, and this is one of the most puzzling things, especially if you're a new developer. You can see it right there, cannot load underlying module. You might think, oh my gosh, well, I just ran pod install. I just did all this Cocopod stuff, and now it's telling me I can't find it. Well, all you got to do is build your project. If you do a build, it will basically clear that up. It's going to take a few minutes, but at the end of this build, that particular message is going to disappear. All right, we're going to remove this boilerplate code in the view controller, and we're going to type Swift fireworks dot shared instance dot show fireworks set, and it's already complaining, but don't worry about it. There we go. That's what we need. Show fireworks set. And then for in view, we're going to just say that it's this view controller's view. We're going to give it position. Now, don't worry so much. In a minute, we'll explain more about this position. I'm just choosing somewhat random numbers. You're going to have to play around with this a little bit to get it how you want. But I just chose 500 and 500. And then the number of fireworks, I'm going to choose a number here. Let's say 20. Again, you're going to have to play around with that some in order for things to happen and to happen the way you want them. All right, now we're going to do a file run by clicking that play button and see what the results look like. The fireworks are hard to catch, so look in the right bottom corner of the phone. Did you see them? If not, don't worry about it. They're hard to see. Remember, we only wrote one line of code. So I'm going to run that in slow-mo so you can check it out again. Did you see it in slow-mo now? There it is. All right, so that's not very satisfying. So what I'm going to do is I basically copy and pasted the same code line again and again. And I'm just going to go in and I'm going to tweak at random these X and Y coordinates. I'm just going to go through and just change them. And then I'm also going to change the number of fireworks. As you can see here, I've copied and pasted the line a lot of times and gone in and tweaked again the X and Y coordinates as well as the number of fireworks. And to make the fireworks easier to see, I'm going to go into Xcode here, into my main storyboard and my first view controller. I'm going to click that view, and I'm going to change the background color to black. This is going to make things much easier to see. All right, so we're going to hit that play or run button again. Drum roll, please. Fingers crossed. Here it is. All right. Now remember, to accomplish that, we copied and pasted the same line of code quite a number of times, and then we tweaked the X and Y coordinates as well as the number of fireworks. You can review all of the code for this particular project. It's linked on the bottom of the video, and the code is on GitHub. And if you want a lot more tutorials, more depth, please check out my Patreon. I'm doing exclusive tutorials on Patreon that go into a lot more depth, and we'll be releasing more free as well. So thank you so much for watching. This is the Bumbling Dev, aka Sagan One. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to check me out on Patreon, where there's a ton more content available.